Welcome everyone to round number 3, the final round of October 7th Gundam card game night over at Bulldog Community Gaming LLC in Brownsburg, Indiana. If you guys are looking for a place to play some Gundam card game action, Bulldog Community Gaming LLC in Brownsburg, Indiana is the place to be. Tuesday nights, 6:30, $5 entry. Or if you guys can't come to the shop, no worries, you can catch all this gameplay live by checking the 2 links down in the description below for Bulldog's Facebook and Twitch page. Again, Tuesday nights, 6:30, the live stream begins. So this is it. This is my only loss for the night, is this final round. And it was a very interesting one, as you will see. I won't spoil the game, but it was a very good one. Very, very good one. So like I said, I am on Red Blue Cyber-Newtype at the time. That I was either going to continue to play Red, Green, White Wing Gundam or Red, Blue, Cyber-Newtype. But now that I picked up the purple cards, thanks to just buying some bricks for 25 each. Again, there are some people complaining that, well, I want that promo card. To me, I don't care about the promo cards. I'm not that much into, all arts and stuff like that. While all arts are cool, I just want the cards at a very cheaper price. So now I'm probably going to bring one day Blue-Purple Gundam Barbados to an event to check it out as well. And once again, we are at our round 2 matchup of course, Blue-White Freedom Blockers. So this will be very interesting, where I am running a ping strategy, a semi-aggro ping strategy against a full-on just brick you up the board with blockers and then just ask your opponent to smash through them all. So I have to kind of see. But like I said, this did end very interesting, and we will talk about it. This was a very close game for me to get it, but we'll have to see if I did. But it was very, very close. Very, very close. Well, I guess I already spoiled it in round 2. If you guys remember, I said I went X1, and here's my final match where I did go X1. Yeah, I do end up losing it, but I end up losing it in one of the dumbest ways I can actually imagine. I was so close to winning this, as you will see. But enough me chit-chatting. You came here to watch Gundam. So anyways, we're going to fist bump each other. Again, on the left side of the board, we're going to go for the 1 resource. I am going to go first here, and we're going to put out the gym. And then we're going to have 2 resources here. This is going to bring out the Zord. Ooh, the Zord is not really something we ever want to see. So that immediately tells me we are blockers. I don't know yet what my opponent is on, so I'm assuming that he's on either a blue strategy or a green strategy, because Zord right now is played with in strategies like the blocker deck we are seeing here, and they're also played within strategies like Wing Gundam, because Zord is still played over there, because remember, Wing Gundam is green-white. So anyways, we'll have to kind of see. I did put down a gun cannon. Once again, can rest a unit with 2 or less HP remaining it, and it can link to anybody with Earth Federation onto it to do stuff. As we see an overflow infection, I'm going to tell you right now, my opponent is struggling to find one specific type of card. Pilots. Throughout this game, they have all the cards that they need to equip their pilots to. They just don't have the pilots. And we're going to go for another gun cannon, and I'm going to do the armor array under the gun cannon that does not have that has a summoning sickness condition here. So I'm just going to rest all of that down. All my guys can attack. I'm going to decide what I want to do with the blockers. There is a point in I think I leave that Rith way too long up on the board state here, instead of going for like certain hits on it here. Because I can go the gym into the Zord, knock out that. I can go a gun cannon into that. So I'm going to knock out the Zord here. I think I decide not to go after the Zord. Anyway, so no, I do go after. I think there's a point where I leave a Rift just standing for a long period of time here, as now, of course, we have the gun cannon with the armor array, which is really nice. A great way just to clean up the board state with all the blockers on it and make sure that the blockers were tapped down so I can immediately go into stuff. As we see another overflow infection and a pitch of a Archangel. While the Archangel is nice, it only really starts picking up pace once we start seeing all the blockers. And we see a Sword Strike Gundam coming down on the board, which is pretty nice to see as well. It can automatically kill most of everything on my board state right now, if we really want to. Again, also the gun cannons do have a repair 1 on it as well. So I do repair 1 damage for that attack I did over the Rift. So I'm just kind of deciding on what I want to do here, because we do have the Sword Strike Gundam. The next turn, if he does get a pair, he can pair that and immediately start spinning back certain things back to my hand. Again, it only spins back things with 2 HP or less, but still, that is a 4/3 that can swing over anything mostly on my board state, but dealing pretty bad damage to it. So kind of really deciding what I want to do here. I'm forgetting how I really want to play. I know I have like a whole bunch of things in hand. I'm going to go for the show of resolve. By the way, I think I have almost at one point in time 3 Marina Cruisers in my hand, and I never drew a Kshatriya. I think I drew 𝐒𝐍𝐶 like right into the game. So anyways, we're just going to go for the gun cannon to kill off the base there. so I can just remove it off the board here, just so I don't have to worry about it. We're going to tap one more. We're going to put down a Jim, and I'm going to heal off the gun cannon, basically tempting him to go after the gun cannon that is wounded there, if he really wants to. Or, of course, he can go after the base with the Sword Strike Gundam. We're going to go for the Archangel here, Archangel, to immediately take 1 life, and then come down with that 5 AP, basically telling me I had to now swing 2 guys into it because I don't have anybody right now in this board state that can actually punch over an Archangel for 1. My philosophy when I saw the Archangels quickly was that I need to get these Archangels off the board before they start proccing. More than just a turn it is played is enough for Archangel. If you let an Archangel live and your opponent starts spamming up blockers, having them swing blockers into your stuff and they live and then paying 2 to restand them is not in a good way at all. As we see overflowing affection to draw to pitch out a Zort there out of the hand. Again, like I said, my opponent is searching for pilots. They have all the units they can need. They just don't have the pilots as I count out my hand for them as well, just so they know what's going on. We're going to go for the Sword Strike. We're going to go for the Incident to immediately make sure that they take no damage off of that Sword Strike Gundam there. And then we're going to put down another Rift as well, just putting up all the blockers. Like I said, in my philosophy, I need to get that Archangel off the board. We're going to go for the Amare. And once again, I did actually forget it completely for some odd reason. I completely forgot during pair that the OG Gundam does give all other units on the board +1 AP here. So we're going to immediately knock out the Archangel. Again, my philosophy is I cannot let my opponent ever have that Archangel more than just a turn it is up on the board, just because I do not want it. We're going to then have the gun cannon go after the Rift, just knock it out, just so he doesn't have any blockers up on the board. I can technically swing this Jim into the Sword Strike Gundam, because technically, again, the OG Papa Gundam does give me an extra AP there. We are going to swing in. For some odd reason, I decided that I totally forgot that Jim actually naturally kills it because of the extra AP there, because of the OG Papa Gundam. So I just decided to put out the Angsha. Again, even though the Angsha didn't really do much because it didn't do anything, it's still a body that can still be there to hit the base. I mean, my opponent is literally got nothing right now. They are struggling to keep a board state on me because I have armor arrays constantly coming down and resting everything. So it's really nice there. So that means there's no bodies on the board. That means I can start swinging everything at the shields here, which unfortunately does start actually giving my opponent the game here, because the second I start swinging on shields, I just must be the unluckiest man with shields. I swear, every time I hit shields, I give my opponent something they're missing. As we see a show resolve here, the draw 2, like I said, my opponent has been hunting pilots. They cannot seem to hunt pilots. They have a humongous hand, by the way, just units, but they're rotting because he doesn't have the pilots to really play with them to do their things. Like, he's got Freedom Gundams, he's just looking for a Kira. And then, funny enough, like he says, that those shields over there is going to have the Kira. Like, I swing twice with the next time, and then I just hit my opponent 2 shields and give him 2 Kiras, because for some reason my luck for hitting pilots and shields is just always horrible. I always hit my opponent's pilots into their hands. Always. I always hit them right out of the shields, right into their hand when I don't need them to do it. And it's like, oh, there's my bad luck again. Always hitting the pilots and the shields for them. So anyways, we're just going to restand. Again, there could be the philosophy, maybe I shouldn't have done anything. I should have just set up for the turn and just literally told my opponent, hey, I'm going to then knock you out. So there is a Kira there. That was really something I didn't want to see, because I knew for a fact he was a blocker deck. There's another Kira, by the way. I was also in the mindset of I need to start being a little aggro against him here. I need to start cutting down on these shields here. But again, there could have been a philosophy that, hey, he doesn't really have anything. I could easily just start getting a board presence mass. He only has 5 shields up. If I can presence up 6 bodies on the board and he can't respond to those 6 bodies, I can easily just cut him. I can easily cut him down. 6 shots, knock out all the shields. If he doesn't have a base in there, I just knock him out. Even if he had the Kiras, if he doesn't have a base to shield himself, that's an immediate win for me. But unfortunately, because my thought process is always going to be, well, if he's open shields, I need to start knocking into them, because at this point right now, these remaining 3 guys can knock out the shields there. And again, I don't have anything in hand, because right now my hand is rotting with Marita Cruzes, and I don't have Kshatriyas in my hand. I see later on the 3/4 level 4 2 cost Kshatriya, and I attach a Marita Cruz to it. But unfortunately, like I said, I don't see the big one, and I don't see the Banshee. I could have won this game if I saw either. And we'll see it later on. I have like the easiest option to win, but I needed exactly 1 Kshatriya or 1 Banshee. That was it. I had the win there and then, but unfortunately, I just couldn't. My deck decided it's done. It's not going to give me what I want here. And some people were impressed. Like, I haven't even had a single hit on my EX base just yet. I had just made my opponent figure out what to do. As we see the OG Gundam, we're going to get a -2/-2. We're just going to immediately knock out that gun cannon with no resources, and immediately have the immediately have the Freedom Gundam put down there, but unfortunately there is arrested, and then we're going to have play out the Archangel, but unfortunately there's no more resources for the restanding of that Freedom Gundam there, so that's really nice. Again, my philosophy is I can't let the Archangel live, because now that he's a Freedom Gundam up on the board, I can't let the Archangel live and let that Freedom Gundam get free real estate on its attacks and then pay to restand itself. So that is the philosophy here of trying to hit it. So anyways, we're going to go for a gun tank to ping 1 damage onto the Freedom. Then we're going to go for the 𝐒𝐓𝐀𝐘. There is the Merida Cruise attachment to it as well here, so I can immediately be able to swing. There is a thought maybe I should have sacrificed maybe I should have actually sacrificed Merida. Well, actually I can't sacrifice Merida. I would have need the bigger 𝐒𝐓𝐃 to do it. Anyways, we're going to swing in. We're going to see an OG Papa Gundam. And then, like I said, as you can see, I have 2 Merida Cruises left in my hand. I just need a 𝐒𝐓𝐃. I just need a Banshee. I need the link to be active. At this point right now, I have 4 bodies on my opponent's 1 body. And 1 blocker is all they got right now in hand. Now, again, that doesn't really matter much when they dug in through their deck. I think we've seen 3 to 2 to 3 the show resolves in 2 to 3 overflowing affections. So my opponent has dug through their deck quite nicely. So it means they have plenty of bodies. Not mentioning this Freedom Gundam can start swinging at bodies and killing it, as we see for the Kira here coming on down. And then we're going to go for the Sword Strike Gundam, which can bounce back the gun tank. But of course, the gun tank does not have any link action to it. So we're going to use the effect of the Freedom Gundam once per turn effect to give -2 AP to something, and then we're going to give another -2 AP to that. So we are only going to take up 1 damage there from, of course, the OG Papa Gundam on the Freedom Gundam. Again, the Sword Strike Gundam can swing into the EX base, knock it out, and then spin back that gun tank, because he needs to start dealing with the fact that I still have 3 bodies on the board state right now that can still win me the game. Again, that's easy enough. Just throw down another blocker, and then I have to have like a draw to an armor array or something like that with what's left on my board, and then rest it out. So again, at this point, he just needs to make sure my board state does not become out of hand, because right now it is currently out of hand, and he has no shields as well. So any one of these guys can kill him, and he has his blocker is, of course, right now fully rested, and he doesn't have an Archangel at all, as we see now 3, I think, 3 of them. He discarded 1 off of a overflowing affection, and then I have destroyed 2 of them off of the board as well. Again, my philosophy is if you see Archangel, you need to get it off, especially in a blocker heavy strategy, because otherwise you're basically going to end up very badly in a state of once you leave an Archangel up for too long, they just get so much value off it. It isn't funny, like that Freedom swinging into my shield, tapping to restanding it, and then there's a restood blocker that can immediately attack next turn, which is pretty nice overall. Yeah, my opponent is really just starting to think about what they want to do here. Again, they have 3 bodies. They need to deal with 2 of them off the board. So anyways, we're going to go for the 𝐒𝐓𝐃𝐘. 𝐒𝐓𝐃 is going to get the -2 here. We're going to bounce back the gun cannon, the gun tank back to hand. We're going to go for another Kira. We're going to go for the Perfect Strike Gundam. Perfect Strike Gundam is going to be able to kill off of the 𝐒𝐓𝐃𝐘 here, and then, of course, give the -2 there. And like I said, I just need a 𝐒𝐶. If I drew a Banshee or a 𝐒𝐶, I win the game. Straight out, no questions asked. But unfortunately, it takes 2 turns for me to get that to my hand. I'm just going to put down a gun tank and gun tank the deal 1 damage to the Perfect Strike Gundam. And now my opponent is going to be able to go off to the races, because my deck has decided it's not going to give me what I want, being the one and only unit I need, being a good old-fashioned 𝐒𝐶. If I had gotten the 𝐒𝐶 on the top deck there, I could have won the game, because he had no guys standing. He had to clear my board state. He couldn't let anything stand up. There was, of course, the aspect maybe it would have been better to just leave my guy standing and force him out. Anyways, we're going to go for OG Papa Gundam to deal 1 damage to kill off the gun tank here, and then basically just going to heal that damage off. We're going to go for the Sword Strike Gundam, swinging in, knocking out the EX base. Nothing to spin back with the Sword Strike Gundam. We're immediately going to go for the Zord. He's not going to swing really with any of these blockers here, because he's just scared of me finding a way to, because even if he swung to, it only had the Zord, and as long as I have a unit, an armor array, and then armor array can link to that unit, he basically gets it. So I'm just going to put out a resound. I'm just trying now to push for damage. I'm trying now to push for the damage, but unfortunately, like I said, it's not going to help. As we see another show of resolve, that should be the final show of resolve as well. And I'm just now on the back burner foot. I do get 2nd in the event, which is still pretty nice overall, but still, it really does suck that all I really needed was 1 unit, and I'm running 4 of the big 𝐒𝐶, the 5/4, running 1 more of, because we already saw 1 of the little ones, 1 more of the 4/2 𝐒𝐶 as well. So we have that as well as we see Armor Array and then a Freedom Gundam to rest the Rizal. We're going to punch over that with the OG Gundam, and then that's going to heal back too. We're going to go for the Sword Strike Gundam, which that would have been nice to see a couple of turns ago to help me dig the one card I was missing, being 𝐒𝐿�𝐴𝐿, which would have been nice to have. Anyways, we're going to go for another hit. We're going to go for the Jin. I don't use Zaku Mariners in my deck. Zaku Mariner is the typical card you use in the deck, but I don't have it. Again, this board state doesn't allow me to have, even if I had an Armor Array, there's no way for me to even rest down both blockers and win, and nothing in my deck has high maneuver, so there's no way for me to win. I'm just going to get right up into my 10 resources. I'm going to show the 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐿 way too late into the game, and then we're just going to immediately put the Marita Cruz. I'm going to kill off the Sword Strike Gundam, one on the Zort, but unfortunately that's not going to really matter, because then I'm just going to be able to swing, kill off the Zort here, and then there's still just 2 Freedom Gundams that are still standing on the board here, one of which can take the full brunt of the 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐿, being the 7 and then die off. So we're just going to kill off the wounded one. And like I said, I just don't have anything. I go and start counting up my discard. I do have Banshee if I could get it as well. I think I have the 12. Definitely going to be hitting the 12 here as my resources just started getting hit off like crazy here as we see the L Strike Gundam coming down as well. Again, he's just now spamming up his blockers. That is basically it for me. There's just no way I can win out of this game state. I needed that 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐿 2 turns earlier when all his stuff was rested. I needed a 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐿, I needed the Banshee, and as I pointed out to my opponent, there's no way I can do anything. I drew into an Armor Array, but it's way too late. Armor Array can't really help me in this board stat. I do flip over the other 2 cards I will show you here, one of which was a base, but that base is not going to help me. Yeah, sure, a 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐿, sure, it's like base, stand up. Draw this life. Congratulations, half this board can kill that base in 1 second and kill me. So like, there's nothing I can really do at that state. So it really does suck that I almost had the win, but it came down to the fact I was just missing 1 card to win it, 1 linkable card to win it, and that was just a 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐿, the 4/2, the 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐿 5/4, or a Banshee 6/4. I just needed 1 of those to be in my hand. I could gone Marita Cruz, won the game, then and there, where all his stuff was rested. He played the gamble, and they paid off for him big, because I did not have the unit to attach it. And like I said, at one time, I had 3 Marita Cruzes in my hand and no links for it. Guess there was a philosophy I did think about in the game where maybe I should have attached a Marita Cruz to one of my units on the board state, just so I could have attached to it and then have that body be there and be a nuisance to my opponent, and have a little extra punching power. That way I could punch over a unit and survive the attack. There was that philosophy in my mind with the Maritas, about using them more like that. But yeah, it's very interesting that I kind of turned into an aggro strategy, just pure on beatdown aggro strategy, like immediately getting the gun cannon with an Armor Array, then immediately going Papa OG, and then immediately getting the Armor Array and just immediately punching my opponent in the face. And of course, like the universe does not like me, I immediately give my opponent the pilots they were looking for to help them win out the game, as 2 Kiras popped out of my opponent's resources. Oh, always that way. Like they said, they had everything in their hand that was unit-wise that they wanted. Like, they had the freedoms, everything. The problem was they were missing the Kiras that they needed. They were missing, like, all pilots. So they had everything in hand, and we controlled the board state really well in that game, but it just ends up that I just needed 1 unit, and I never found it. I want your thoughts, guys, down in the comments on the decks. Have you tried out the blue-white freedom blockers? What are your thoughts on red, blue Cyber-Newtype? Because I have a feeling all of you have tried at least once red, blue Cyber-Newtype. Again, I don't play the Zaku Mariners. I play the Jins. It's no difference. It's a 2/1, 2/2. Just pick your flavor of mobile suit, I guess, at that point. What's your favorite looking mobile suit? Because, again, they're both 2/1, 2/2s. So nothing really to care about that. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this very exciting game, and let me know your condolences for the fact that I almost had the win if my opponent's gamble hadn't paid off and I drew anything that can link to Marita Cruz. Like I said, the 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐿 was 2 down. I had everything I needed. I just needed that 𝐒𝐿𝐴𝐿 to be up 2 cards. Yeah, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. That's how the cookie crumbles. But let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. And while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you can notify when my videos go live for you. And we'll see you next time on Mama Dragons TCG.